let's practice typing some different equations into Schoology because you're going to do this all throughout the course this year. So Schoology has a pretty powerful equation editor, just a few little things that take some getting used to. So let's type this expression, 5 square root of x all over y squared. So first of all, if you just click this little pi button, it's going to bring up the equation editor. One thing to make note of, this is out on the side, we can still see it, but sometimes this will cover up the equation. So I would encourage you have these on paper in front of you as you've solved an equation out, and then you've already got your steps to type it in. So let's go ahead and just type. So 5 right from the keyboard, square root, if we click the little equation button, there's our square root, just click under the radical. Now push the right arrow key to get out of that radical. I just push the divide bar with the backspace on my computer keyboard. Now y squared, there's a couple ways to do this. I could just type y and then do shift 6 on my keyboard, little caret symbol will give me that superscript, or I could have also pushed this button right here for a superscript. And insert, notice they match, they look exactly the same. Okay, so again, the point to this exercise, just help you get comfortable. It's going to take some practice typing things in. Let's do this one. X plus 7 all over log base 7 of x. So let's go and do this. Same thing, bring up the equation. In x plus 7, notice I put that in parentheses, divided by log. Again, there's a couple different ways we can do this, but I'm just going to do the subscript here. Base, you got to click again, 7, push right arrow to get out of that of x, and push insert. There it is. And how about an absolute value? Let's go type this one. So absolute value, click on this miscellaneous and you'll find a straight bar here, a vertical bar. So just go ahead and insert that, then click next to it and you can type. So 2x minus 9. Here's an example what I was talking about, where notice it covers up part of our equation and you can't move this box, so that's kind of annoying. So you need to know beforehand what it is you're going to be typing in. So we want greater than or equal to 11. So greater than or equal, let's go up here to our relationships, and there's a bunch of them, okay? You just need to scroll around and find it. So there's greater than or equal, and then 11, and insert. Notice they match, okay? Now this one, this is our interval notation you'll be learning about, we'll be using all through the course. This is easier, I think, just using the keyboard. So you could do all of this in the equation editor, but I'd just like you to use the keyboard. It's going to be quicker. So negative, now that's the infinity symbol, and we could go find that. In fact, I'll just show you real quick. So if you do symbols, you can find it on here somewhere. I've seen it before. There you are. Okay, so we could click that and go use it. But honestly, just shorter. Just do double OO, okay? So 2 lowercase o's will be just fine. As long as I know what you're doing, I can see it. This is all right from my keyboard. I'm going to do a union symbol, but I'm just going to do a capital U, and then another bracket, 5, comma, 0, 0, and I will know exactly what that means. Okay, the key is that I can interpret what you're typing, so that'll be great. Now for this one, I want an example of, or I want to demonstrate showing my work. Okay, so as you type problems in, the big part of the reason for that is to demonstrate your work to me so I can see, hey, this student knows how to do the problem. I can see their steps very clearly. I can award partial credit if it's a quiz or something, you know, if you make a silly mistake somewhere. So we want to be very clear, we want to show our steps. So this is a pretty easy little problem, but let me just demonstrate you know, what might be a clear way to show your work. So number it could be good, and so maybe I say isolate the radical, and then out to the side maybe I'll go type the equation. And so I've got square root of x plus 5 equals 9. if I just add that 3 to both sides, okay? And you don't need to break down like every tiny step necessarily. You could have said add 3 to both sides. That'd be fine as long as I can follow what you're doing. Now let's say square both sides. Maybe type that so it looks a little nicer. Look, square both sides. And I'm going to go insert this equation again, just to show it, just so it's clear what's going on. And usually if you gave me descriptions that were that good, I'd be able to tell what was going on anyway. But the more you can give me, the better it'll be. And insert. So there we see, notice squared both sides, looks pretty clear. And how about isolate the x? Or maybe I'll do one more step here. How about simplify? So if we actually square both sides, what would that give us? At this point, I wouldn't need the equation editor if I don't want. I could just use my keyboard. X plus 5 equals 81, right? And next step, isolate the variable, and you wouldn't even need to necessarily type that if you don't want. If you just did x equals 76 at that point, I mean, I would be able to tell what you did. But again, the more you can give me, the better off it's going to be, and the better I will feel about the process, about what you're doing. Okay?